Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. First tonight, Tasmania is facing one of its quietest New Year's Eves in living memory, with Falls Festival, the Taste and the Sydney Hobart all missing in action. Fireworks will light up the sky, but revellers have been told not to gather on the waterfront.
This week, Hobart would normally look like this. But this year, winemaker Fred Peacock has long loved the crowds at the Taste of Tasmania.
Well, about now we'd be just starting lunchtime down the first day of the Taste, so we'd be flat out. People would be flooding in, trying to get a seat on the waterfront, of course. Nice sunny day.
Now he's worried about its future.
When you have a break in an event, yeah, I think there is some cause for concern. We just don't know what the future will hold.
Fish Frenzy's Gary Shepherd has also been a Taste stallholder, and he's happily watched the Sydney Hobart finish outside his front door. Even with that event gone, business is still good.
But at the same time, we're cautious about how busy we are going to be, so it's just play and see how it goes. And
while Falls Festival might be off, 2 big gigs are on the cards at Hobart's Regatta grounds.
We have Veronica's on the 30th and Jungle Giants on New Year's Eve.
If you haven't found a ticket, bad news. Both are sold out.
With the void that Falls and Taste has created, this is probably the largest event happening.
After some doubts, fireworks will be lighting up the sky. Revellers are being told not to head to the waterfront.
Because we've got the barge further out into the river and the fireworks will be shot much higher into the air, they'll be more visible from a range of other bays and parks and points right around Hobart.
Meanwhile, Launceston will again ring in the new year with Beerfest. Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
There has been a development in the suspicious death of a woman in Launceston on Boxing Day, with a man now charged with murder. Our reporter Elizabeth O'Neill has the details. Lizzie, what have police revealed about the man charged?
Good evening, Kim. Police say they've charged a 27-year-old international man with murder. He will appear in court later tonight. It follows the discovery of a woman's body in the bedroom of a Wellington Street residence on Saturday evening. A 25-year-old woman was also arrested today but has been released without charge. While police haven't revealed the cause of death, they will allege it's murder. Kim?
Well, still on police matters, and a 24-year-old man is in custody after an alleged assault at Bridgewater this morning. Police say a 22-year-old female was parked in the McDonald's car park just after 7 a.m. when a man allegedly jumped into the passenger seat and threatened her with a loaded gun.
A McDonald's staff member witnessed the incident and she called police. The male fled the scene and he was located shortly after at an address in Bridgewater, and police located the firearm at that scene.
Authorities say investigations are continuing, but the pair is known to each other. Anyone with further information is urged to contact police. Well, in a matter of hours, the first yacht in the Launceston to Hobart race is set to cross the finish line, on track to break the race record. Our reporter Meg Sines is out on the River Derwent and joins us now. Good evening, Meg. How are you? Now, how is Alive travelling?
Well, Kim, we're currently at the race finish line, but Alive is nowhere to be seen. She's still currently travelling around the Tasman Peninsula. Now, the Tasmanian boat is the largest of the fleet of 31 and was set to sail in the Sydney to Hobart race, but the crew had to make a mad dash down from New South Wales after it was cancelled. Now, it is set to take line honours, but we'll need to cross the line before 9:03 tonight to break the race record set in 2009. It did look like it would arrive with time to spare, but lost some momentum in the afternoon.
I'd hate to bet how they're going. At the moment they will do it, they'll get here, but the Derwent's got a reputation for the wind going in the air and no breeze.
And Kim, it hasn't been smooth sailing for the crews. 4 boats retired after copping a battering overnight. Now the race is set to finish tomorrow with the rest of the boats to arrive in the River Derwent.
It was a year no one saw coming, and wrapping up 2020, tonight we begin a series of interviews with Tasmania's political leaders. The first, Greens leader Cassie O'Connor. In an emotional discussion, she reflects on the highs and lows of the pandemic and her hope for change when a commission of inquiry begins next year.
Bushfires scorched the country, a pandemic shook the world, and allegations of child sex abuse were revealed here in Tasmania. No matter which way you look at it,
it's been a bad dog of a year.
But reflecting back on 2020, Cassie O'Connor acknowledges in many ways she's been lucky.
I'm Tasmanian, I have a well-paid job, I have friends and family support. Many people are not that lucky.
The year saw a new Premier forced to navigate a pandemic, many finding a new appreciation for Peter Gutwein, including the leader of the Greens.
You know, we are worlds apart, I think. But on this issue, on the way he charted us through a pandemic and worked across the Parliament to make sure that no one was left behind, I think I'm like many Tasmanians who feels really thankful that leadership was just what we needed at that time on this issue.
Political parties within a usually divided Parliament working side by side during an unprecedented time.
You know, there was that sense of, well, we're in this together as Tasmanians for our people, and it was good. It was good. I wish there was more of it.
But then shocking revelations about allegations of historical child sex abuse within government institutions dominated the news.
I think what we're going to learn next year through this Commission of Inquiry is that in too many places it is possible for predators to get close to young people and cause them lifelong harm. Lifelong trauma.
A series of state service employees, including at Ashley Youth Detention Centre, stood down pending investigations.
Minister, there is clearly something rotten at Ashley and the way it's being managed.
Hopeful the inquiry might bring change.
We can do better. We can do a lot better by these young people, so I hope that the Commission of Inquiry recommends the closure of Ashley. That would be a good day.
A historic moment in Parliament taking place late in the year as the majority of the lower house voted in favour of voluntary assisted dying legislation.
It was a good ending for a hard parliamentary year, mostly because collectively Parliament said we believe in this reform because it's compassionate.
The Greens leader now turning her attention to next year.
Talking to Tasmanians about a new social and economic frame that puts people and nature first and creates jobs.
And with an election now on the horizon, the Greens aren't skipping a beat.
I put my hand up for pre-selection in Clark. I'm very looking forward to taking us to the next election because I think it's going to be a different frame.
Meg Sides, 7 Tasmania News.
750 fines have been dished out to Tassie motorists in the past week as police crack down on dangerous driving. 27 people have been charged with drink driving, while more than 500 have been spotted speeding. Sadly, one person has died, while 6 have been seriously injured during the holiday season. Police are again pleading with Tasmanians to slow down, take breaks and drive to the conditions.
To the Big Bash now, the Hurricanes have gone down to the Brisbane Heat by 4 wickets in last night's clash at the Gabba. Posting a first innings total of only 148 runs, they were unable to stop the Heat from collecting their first win of the series.
A victory would have catapulted the Hobart Hurricanes to the top of the Big Bash ladder, and against the winless Brisbane Heat, they were the raging hot favourites to do exactly that.
So for the Brisbane Heat, it's a huge task containing this all-star lineup from the Hobart Hurricanes.
Sent into bat, the Canes openers, Darcy Short and Ben McDermott, both got starts.
That's a damn good shot.
But wickets fell consistently throughout the innings. The world's highest-rated T20 batsman, Dawid Malan, failed to impress in his first start as a Hurricane, out for 15.
You can. Well, Malan, AC's in trouble now.
The men in purple were battling.
Catch that! Yeah, and he could get another one.
Nathan Ellis got lucky once,
And dropped.
but not twice.
Nathan Ellis is in big trouble.
A handy 8th wicket partnership from James Faulkner and Will Parker helped push the total to 7 for 148. The Hurricanes were behind as they headed into the field, and a fast start from the heat didn't help things.
Unfortunately for Will, he's got the full treatment from Sam Haslett there though.
Things looked lost for the Hurricanes, with the heat cruising at 0 for 73, until some quick wickets gave them a chance.
Nathan Ellis gets the breakthrough.
Darcy Short made several breakthroughs. The part-timer finished with 3 for 18, including this spectacular catch off his own bowling. 6 wickets for 29 runs, providing a glimmer of hope, but the heat steadied, chasing down the total with 16 balls and 4 wickets to spare.
And for Hobart, walk away from it pretty quickly, put it behind you and move on, because generally they've been pretty good.
The two sides do battle again at the Gabba on December 30, with the Hurricanes looking to return to winning ways. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmanian News.
The Rudder Cup has had a nail-biting finish, with Ecstasy, which was expected to break a race record, pipped at the end. Lord Jiminy took line honours, winning by 8 minutes and 14 seconds after a night of challenging conditions.
Lord Jiminy sailing along the Mersey to the finish line. A true underdog story, narrowly beating the race favourite by a matter of minutes on a small boat with just 3 crew, battling through a night of rough seas.
The conditions were pretty rough last night, and that's the type of conditions that this boat likes, so that's pretty where we made the difference. And then, yeah, the finish was pretty close.
Ecstasy was expected to beat the race record. It was anything but plain sailing for the vessel.
It was rough, it was tough, fair few waves over there too. We had some members of the crew got sick. We fought through that, and it all knows it, a reasonable race.
The Rudder Cup was almost dead in the water, with organisers only confirming the event would run a month ago because of border uncertainty. Sydney boats were barred from entering as the city battles a COVID outbreak. And after Melbourne's long lockdown, Guillaume Leroux is glad to be back on the water.
Being out at sea after all this period of lockdown was quite a relief, and everyone was really happy to be here.
There's been a surge in the number of competitors, with the Melbourne to Devonport the only interstate yacht race to take place over the summer sailing season. Organisers hope it'll encourage more competitors in future years. 21 boats entered this year, 3 times that of last year, but it's a far cry from the number of boats the race used to attract.
30 years ago we had 100 boats in this race, so if we can build it back up to that again, it's my favourite race.
Elizabeth O'Neill, 7 Tasmanian News.
Some of Australian cycling's biggest stars have been racing at Launceston's Silverdome in the latest of the Christmas carnivals. National champions here for the series took the day's biggest wins, but it was a different atmosphere with no spectators allowed in.
He's one of the headlining names of this year's carnivals, but national sprint champion Matthew Richardson had a rough introduction to the series.
Yesterday obviously was my first race on an outdoor flat track, so that was a bit interesting. Almost crashed into the fence on my first race.
Now he's flying and took the win in the A-grade men's Kieran.
Yeah, just hoping to have some fun, gain some experience. If I come back in the future, I want to know all the little tips and tricks.
His national squad teammate Luke Plapp won the A-grade points and scratch races. The women's Kieran, meanwhile, won by local favourite Lauren Perry. It was the second of her 2 wins today, having also won the A-grade points race.
Pretty happy to get a few wins on the board. I wasn't sure how I'd go coming into this, coming off a bit of a roadblock, but it's always good fun racing.
Another one of Tasmania's cycling stars swapped his usual training roads for the velodrome's boards.
It's just great that there's some sort of racing on, and it's not really my style of racing. I'm not very comfortable out there.
As the only indoor carnival of the week, organisers have had to abide by more stringent COVID regulations. For the first time, there's no crowd here at the Silverdome. There were also no handicap races for seniors, while the program ran in the afternoon only.
There were restrictions of the amount of people within the velodrome, so 250 people allowed within this floor area.
Really weird not having friends and family in the crowd. I kind of miss that atmosphere, but also grateful that they've put on some racing for us.
The racing on the track, as hot as ever though, still bringing all the usual thrills and spills. Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmanian News.
Stuart McSwain's year is going from strength to strength, with the Tasmanian named number 3 in the world for the 1500 metres by Track and Field News. It's the first time an Australian has been ranked in the top 3 for the distance since Herb Elliott in 1960. McSwain is in Tasmania and will be a draw card in tomorrow's Christmas Carnival at Penguin and in Burnie on New Year's Eve.
Good evening, everyone. Hobart reaching the state's top today with 20 degrees, 18 in Launceston, and Burnie and Devonport both 17. Around the state, Friendly Beach is 19, 18 in Grove, Flinders Island, Smithton, St Helens and Strawn all 17, and 11 in Lyowini. Streaks of high-level cloud can be seen over the north of Tasmania today, as well as scattered cloud across the rest of the state. Further out, a weak frontal cloud band can be seen to the west of Tasmania, while sunny skies are evident over much of the southern half of the country. Tomorrow's chart shows a persistent trough over the mainland and a high over the Bight extending a ridge further north. A cold front lies over the Tasman Sea and a weak trough can be seen over the west of Tasmania. West to northwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots, reaching 30 knots about the southwest early in the morning. And there is a strong wind warning current for southern and western coastal waters from Southeast Cape to Sandy Cape. Partly cloudy and 22 in Hobart tomorrow, 19 in Adventure Bay, possible showers and 17 in Tarraleah. 21 in Launceston tomorrow, Devonport a top of 19, Bridgewater 20 and partly cloudy. Cloudy and 19 in Burnie tomorrow, 19 and showers in Strawn, Marrawar 18 degrees. And in the east, mostly sunny and 22 in St Helens, Swansea 22 and 20 degrees in Whitemark. And the UV tomorrow is extreme right across the state, with sunrise expected at 5:37 a.m. Looking on to Wednesday now, showers about the west and far south, extending to central and eastern areas in the afternoon. Showers about eastern, central and southern areas on Thursday, contracting to the north in the evening. And on Friday, fine apart from possible showers about the west and northeast. 39 in Perth tomorrow, partly cloudy and 25 in Adelaide, a shower or two in Canberra and 31 degrees in Darwin. And currently Hobart 18 and mostly cloudy, partly cloudy and 16 degrees in Launceston and mostly cloudy and also 16 in Devonport. And that's weather tonight, Kim.
And that is all your news for this evening. Thanks for joining us. See you again tomorrow. Good night.